Well, this video is gonna be very interesting. Your boy, Alyx, man, giving you guys my thoughts on the 1000th episode of Raw. Before I get into that, I want to say congratulations to the WWE for being the longest running episodic show, yeah, really, TV show ever in history. This is great. 1,000 episodes. No TV show has gone this long. I think it started like 1993, 1992, around that time. So it's been going for a good 20-something years now. 2 decades. Pretty fucking amazing. It's beaten Simpsons, Sopranos, all those episodic shows and stuff like that. I think it's even beating the soap operas. Pretty freaking awesome for a wrestling show. Yeah, that's kind of going to be something all these other shows, the prime time shows, can't put over the wrestling show. Because the wrestling show, although it's fake, has more episodes, has lasted longer than the primetime show. So that's something I can take in pridefully as a wrestling fan. So that's pretty awesome. It was great to see some of the returning legends. Let's get to the positive stuff first. The legends that we got tonight, DX. The DX reunion, fantastic. Everything I wanted. They gave me what I wanted right off the bat. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Billy Gunn. Good to see him. He looks good, too. He looks the same. He hasn't aged one bit. Road Dogg, Jesse James, and X-Pac. No China. Who cares? It really wasn't necessary to have China. So, DX reunion, fun. Funny. It was great. Honestly, I'm kind of a bit spoiled when I say this, but I want to see more of them. I didn't just want them for the opening segment. Honestly, they could have done 4 or 5 segments. I would have been happy with them. You know, it was great to see DX. I thought that was awesome to have all of them. The full DX except for China and Rick Rude, who's passed away. Rest in peace. But it was good to see them. By the way, I saw the opening promo they had for the show. Great. There was a spot in there for Eddie Guerrero. It got me. So, oh, and Damien Sandow came out. He got the rub of a lifetime to be in the same ring with the full cast of DX. Damien Sandow, man, you lucky bastard. That was great to see that. So, amazing opening segment. And then after that, we got like a 6-man tag. Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and who was the third? Sheamus. Dario, Drew McIntyre. Dolph Ziggler, I'm sorry, and Chris Jericho. And Jim Ross was commentating. This is the only match he commentated in. This is one of the low points about the show. Jim Ross commentated, but he commentated for one match. And it was a random 6-man tag that hardly anybody wrestled in. It was just, I think, Sin Cara, Sheamus. Rey Mysterio didn't really do anything, and Jim Ross just barely said anything about the match. He put over Dolph Ziggler, that was nice, but after the match, Jim Ross wasn't even on the show anymore. That was dumb. If Jim Ross was going to commentate for one match, it should have been the main event. Seriously. A random match with Jim Ross? What? Really? You're not even going to use him for anything else? Just a random match? You know they just did that to give us a bone. It's like, here's Jim Ross, now shut up. It's not about giving us a bone, people. Jim Ross is the best commentator. So use him. It's not going to get into it. The match was whatever. It was nice to see Dolph Ziggler cost Chris Jericho his match for the team. And, you know, kind of build more into their feud. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have a match at SummerSlam now. That should be pretty fucking amazing. What else happened? Positive stuff. Undertaker and Kane had their little brother reunion. No Paul Heyman, but I thought he was going to be there too. Not a big deal. They beat up some jobbers and had their little reunion. That was nice to see. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and The Rock had an awesome segment. The Rock came out and announced that he will be going for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble 2013. So that throws out any possibility for The Rock versus John Cena or Punk at SummerSlam. Kind of sucks. But, The Rock versus Punk at Royal Rumble 2013 would be pretty awesome. Please don't let it be Cena. But that's some time down the road. That should be something to look forward to keep my interest into the WWE for some time, at least. But the segment was awesome. Daniel Bryan standing up to The Rock and telling The Rock, I might surprise you. I might be WWE Champion going into Royal Rumble. Because everybody is expecting Punk or Cena. So it was nice to see Daniel Bryan actually get some microphone time. He got a lot of focus on this show, which I liked. You know, his wedding with AJ, I'll get into that in a second. And then, you know, the segment between The Rock, CM Punk, and him. Backstage segment that involved Charlie Sheen bashing Daniel Bryan. And hopefully that doesn't turn into a match. Don't make that a match. Please. Don't make Daniel Bryan fight Charlie Sheen. No. Let's not do that, okay? Please. But that was nice. What else was good? Some legends appeared on the show. Lita showed up. She had a match against Heath Slater. I'll get to that in a second. You know, all the regular legends, Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and there was a backstage segment within what was it? Yeah, backstage segment with AJ Lee and Layla, and they was talking about the wedding, and AJ Lee talked about, you know, a lot of weird stuff happened here in WWE, and Layla's like, not a lot of weird stuff. She opens the door, they show Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then R-Truth and Roddy Piper are playing with little Jimmy, and then Mae Young comes with a guy dressed in a hand, and the guy was all like, hey, I'm Mae Young's son, the Hand. Oh, goodness gracious, that was so ridiculous, that was funny. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that. That was probably one of the most memorable moments about the show. And then, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, that should pretty much tell you where this video is going. CM Punk retains the WWE Championship. And John Cena is now the first person to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase and fail to get the WWE Championship. Although he didn't lose the match, because WWE doesn't want to go that far. They don't want to just have him flat out lose. They want to give him some kind of a leeway to say, look, at least he won the match. They can't just have Cena lose because they don't want to hurt John Cena. Whatever. But CM Punk does retain the championship. He's still WWE champion, and Cena is not. So that is a positive. And also, CM Punk at the end of the show, those of you who watched it, The Rock came out to help John Cena as he was being attacked by the Big Show. CM Punk ambushed The Rock as he was going for the people's elbow, and apparently gives him the GTS and walks away. So that's pretty much signaling he's a heel now. He did a heel turn. So many possibilities with that. You can do so many things with CM Punk as a heel, and I look forward to seeing what they do with it. However, at the same time, I don't really have a lot of hope for it based off of what we got on this show as well. We talked about the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff now. First off, AJ Lee is general manager. Yeah, that's shocking, huh? You would think I would like that. I don't. Well, I don't know how I feel about it, because it was just so random. You know, general managers, we got people like Mick Foley trying out. We had these people try out over the last month. You know, I had them in mind to be general manager. And of course, I expected a swerve. But this type of swerve just left me going, why? Why? I don't get that. But she's general manager now. No explanation to why. She's just general manager. Vince McMahon asked her, do you want to be general manager? She said yes. And there you go. She's general manager. It was during the wedding, because Daniel Bryan and AJ were about to get married, and then Daniel Bryan said yes, and then AJ said yes, yes, yes. And it was like, I now pronounce you this. She was like, wait a minute. I'm not saying yes to Daniel Bryan. I'm saying yes to someone else. And then Vince McMahon's music hit, and I'm like, oh God, are they about to get married? And then Vince McMahon makes the announcement, here's the new general manager, AJ Lee. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Wait a minute. The Psycho chick, AJ Lee, the one that was in love with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, just a few months ago was a valet for Daniel Bryan, and just a year ago wasn't really doing anything. Now all of a sudden, she's doing a great job with her character, but now because she's popular, we're going to make her general manager? I'm sorry, making AJ Lee general manager is just like making Jack Swagger general manager, or just somebody on the roster general manager. It's random. It's extremely random. You might as well have made Zack Ryder general manager. Seriously, I would have gotten the exact same reaction out of it. And I love AJ. I love the character, but she has no business being general manager. Now, the possibilities, I see them. I can see what they're trying to do here. AJ Lee's general manager, so of course she's going to make Daniel Bryan's life a living hell. Which means more TV time for Daniel Bryan. Which is a possibility. And it is a positive when you look at it that way. You know, and it could lead to something blowing off. But the way they brought this up, the execution of it, and how it's just out of nowhere, with no real planning to it, it just seems like they just made her general manager because she brings in ratings. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith that they'll do something good with this. But I guess I'll see where it goes. Okay, I missed this, but this is also a positive on the show. The segment between Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H. Great segment. It was awesome. As expected, Paul Heyman comes out and announces that. At first, he tells Triple H no, but then Stephanie McMahon comes out and tricks Paul Heyman into making the match at SummerSlam. Kind of like a loophole way to make the match, but they made the most out of it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. Paul, I think was talking about Stephanie McMahon's, her children. Then Stephanie McMahon attacked Paul. Brock Lesnar comes out to make the save, and then Triple H protects Stephanie. They have an awesome brawl back and forth. It was nice, which makes you want to see the match even more now. Because after seeing that brawl, I'm like, yes, now I really want to see this match. And Triple H knocks Brock Lesnar out of the ring, and that's how it ends. I mean, it was entertaining, so I liked it. But back to the negatives about this show. Jim Ross having one match, and not even an important match. It's just a 6-man tag randomly thrown in there that didn't even do much for anybody, except Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho. It did something for them, alright. But for Jim Ross, is that all you're going to do with him? You're not even going to have him end the show? I'm stupid. I'm sorry. The legends were used poorly. All those legends that we've had come over the last few months, you know what they did? They was all lumberjacks, pretty much, in the match between Lita versus Heath Slater. Lita? I love Lita, trust me. I love Lita. But this match between with Heath Slater, you know, in the Legends, this was supposed to be the big blow-off for Heath Slater. You know, all that build-up was supposed to blow up here at the 1000th episode of Raw, and he was supposed to face a big-ass legend. He got Lita. I think it was supposed to be Stone Cold. I think that was the plan, but I guess based off of him having to film a movie, give me a second, I'll get into that. They had to sit with Lita. But I'm sorry, regardless of what they had, and you know, they had no choice, this is all they had, this was still a poor execution of the Legends. This is all we got from them. They just showed up in the match. Lita beat Heath Slater in under a few minutes, and it was like, okay, well, that was pointless. Thank you for showing up. It's good to see you again. But getting into Austin, he wasn't on this show. Now, I understand he was filming. He was filming a movie, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. I get that. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry. It's not. The 1000th episode of Raw. Stone Cold Steve Austin, first off. Stone Cold Steve Austin. An integral part of the growth of the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. He made the Attitude Era phenomenal. Made wrestling so fun and so popular back in the day. He couldn't be here for the 1000th episode of Raw because he was filming something. Fuck the film. Fuck it. No. WWE would be nothing without Austin, and I'm kind of tempted to say Austin would be nothing without the WWE. There should have been no excuse, no reason why he should not have been here on this show. I'm sorry, that's stupid, that was BS. They should have done everything in their power. Austin and WWE made sure Austin was here. Because to me, for this to be a historic, remember that word, historic episode of Raw, How can you have that without Austin? How the hell can you have 1,000 episode of Raw Celebration without one of the people, the guy that made WWE popular in the first place? One of the people, at least. That was stupid. No excuse. I don't give a shit he was filming a movie. Fuck the movie. He should have been here. I'm sorry, that was stupid. I'm done. That hurt the show to me. Personally, as a fan. It may not have hurt to you, but Austin should have been here. But then other than that, nothing big happened on this show. DX was phenomenal. I love seeing the full cast of DX there. That was awesome. Brock Lesnar and Triple H was good. The segments between Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and The Rock was good. Daniel Bryan's segments all around were good. Except the wedding. I don't think I like the wedding now, based off of what they did. I'll have to see what they do with AJ. I hope they do something good with that, because I'm at the point now with WWE that I don't expect them to do anything good with their storylines anymore. But no Divas. They didn't even use their tag teams. None of them. Well, Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex were in the segment involving Taker and Kane. We didn't get anything from the Usos or, other tag teams on the show. And I guess that's why it just felt so empty. They didn't... WWE, in a sense, kind of half-assed this show. They didn't really go all out and give us the best show possible. It just felt like a regular 3-hour Raw. Which was good. Let me just say it like this. Was the show good? Overall, if you combine the good stuff, it was a good show. It was a good show. Which is like what? On a grading scale, like C+, B-, good. But for a 1,000th episode of Raw, for what this should have been, it undersold. It was underwhelming. This should have been so much better. This was supposed to be a historic Raw. I won't remember this Raw in the next 3 months. That's how bad it was. I remember it was the 1,000th episode of Raw and a few things that happened on it, but I won't remember the show. I'll remember the DX reunion. I'll remember possibly Lesnar and Triple H, the Daniel Bryan and AJ wedding because of the shock of AJ Lee being general manager, and then CM Punk turning heel. I can talk about this too. Like I said, CM Punk turning heel leaves a lot of possibilities. Hopefully they choose the possibility that I'm thinking of, because the big summer angle I told you about that was involving CM Punk and Paul Heyman, now I see it coming to fruition a little bit more, because now that CM Punk has turned heel, him teaming up with Paul Heyman is a possibility now. So we'll see where that one goes. That should be interesting. But anyways, other than that stuff, nothing to take home. I expected, and this is probably my fault, you guys tell me, I expected to be left with no voice. I expected this to be one of those shows that was just full of awesomeness, full of greatness, full of just wonderful moments, back to back. It was like we got a few great moments, and then the rest of it was just, there, here you go. In terms of a wrestling show, there wasn't a lot of wrestling. There really wasn't. So if you expected wrestling on this show, highly disappointed. I bet you are. Not a very good wrestling show. Probably, yeah, it was in terms of being a wrestling show, it was bad. Nostalgia, good, but it could have been better. Segments overall, execution of a lot of them, off. Great for a couple of them, but off for the most part. I'm sorry, guys. This show is underwhelming. I'm just left with not a lot to talk about. That's why you see me coming up here unedited. I even feel like editing this video. It's just up. Not much to talk about. I'm not excited. I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm just left here. Nothing else. Show happened, and anything else following it is going to be, So, let's see what WWE does over the next few weeks, because it's now 3 hours long. Raw is going to be 3 hours from now on, so they have a lot of time to really build on some stuff. I want to see where they go with AJ. Now that she's general manager for both shows, Raw and SmackDown. So we're probably going to get a lot of AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan on both Raw and SmackDown, which is a plus for me personally. Hopefully, they do that and not just make AJ the general manager and do absolutely nothing with her because she's popular. Hopefully. CM Punk being a heel, look forward to seeing where they go with that. I got nothing else. DX was a one-time thing. Triple H and Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam, that should be awesome. I got nothing else, guys. We'll see what happens in the near future. How about that? So, share your thoughts down below about how you felt about Raw, and did I miss anything? I think I covered everything, right? The Hand, DX, Triple H, the wedding, the main event. If I missed something, guys, oh yeah, The Miz is the new IC champion. I knew I was forgetting something. So The Miz is the new IC champion, guys. We'll see how well The Miz does. I think that's good. I don't mind it at all. I think Miz being IC champion is actually good for the IC championship belt because Miz was a former world champion. So if former world champions are now winning the IC championship belt, like Christian did, it means a lot more. So, cool. I look to seeing what they do with the IC championship belt with The Miz not holding it. So, see what happens with that. But yeah, give me your thoughts down below, guys. How do you feel about this Raw? Do you think it was underwhelming, you know, about Austin not being there, about, you know, just the overall execution of it? AJ Lee is general manager, and Cena somehow, he lost the match. He's the first person to cash in and fail, but he still won the match, so they couldn't go all the way with it. You know, just give me your thoughts about it, guys, and tell me how you felt about this Raw. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in my next video. Don't know what it will be, but your boy The Last Man's been thinking about something, and been contemplating this for a while, and based off of where WWE goes, probably around SummerSlam, I'll have my decision. Might be time for your boy The Last Man to take a small break from wrestling. But we'll see what happens, alright? Take care.